10. Janine Jones. In the realm of justice and morality, there's an undeniable consensus that those who take lives, especially killers, merit unequivocal separation from society. The mere notion of terminating a life underlines a threat so severe that it mandates isolation to safeguard the communal fabric. This principle is magnified to a chilling extent when the victims are children, innocents whose lives are snuffed out before they even begin. Enter the chilling case of a Texan born in 1950, who, under the guise of a pediatric nurse, orchestrated a horror that beggars belief. With daily access to her young victims, she employed a method as cowardly as it was heinous: poisoning. Her grim tally, estimated by investigators to be around 60 children, vaults her into the nightmarish echelon of serial killers. Convicted for the murder of Chelsea and McClellan and sentenced to 99 years, it appeared justice had been served. Yet, the shadow of a mandatory release law loomed, threatening to undo the semblance of justice with a premature release after merely a fraction of her sentence. It was only through relentless efforts and the emergence of further evidence of her crimes that ensured she would remain where she could no longer harm, imprisoned for life. 9. Kathy Wood and Gwendolyn Graham. How can one defy the overwhelming power of authentic love? Imagine a love so profound it drives you to the brink of committing the ultimate act to cement your bond. This was the reality for Graham and Wood, two aid workers at Alpine Manor, whose initial spark ignited a consuming inferno of passion. This whirlwind romance spiraled out of control, morphing into a series of chilling murders. United by a macabre pact, they chose their victims to spell murder with the initial letters of their names, believing this shared secret would forge an unbreakable connection between them. However, their grim endeavor failed to preserve their unity, leading to their eventual separation. The truth emerged years later when Wood, motivated by a blend of guilt and redemption, confessed to her husband. Her cooperation with authorities led to a reduced sentence of 40 years, with parole granted in 2018 after previous denials, while Graham faced the unyielding justice of 5 life sentences. Their story is a harrowing testament to the dark abyss into which misguided love can plunge. 8. Nanny Doss. Delving into the world of a serial killer unveils a dark, disturbing reality that challenges our very perceptions of normalcy. The narrative grows even more chilling when you discover this serial killer was none other than a seemingly harmless grandmother, earning her the moniker the Giggling Granny. Behind her benign smile was Nancy Hazel, a woman enshrouded in sinister aliases like Lady Bluebeard, Jolly Black Widow, and the Lonely Arts Killer. Her cheerful facade belied a horrific truth: she was a gleeful psychopath. In 1955, following her arrest for the death of her husband, Nanny Doss shockingly admitted to taking the lives of 4 additional victims, though whispers persist that her death toll might nearly reach a dozen. Nanny's modus operandi was chillingly simple: when a husband outlived his usefulness, she coldly eliminated him, seamlessly transitioning to her next victim. During her trial, she attempted to attribute her gruesome spree to a brain injury. However, the jury was unconvinced, condemning her to spend her remaining days behind bars, where she eventually passed away. 7. Lindy Chamberlain. In the serene yet fateful surroundings of Australia's Ayers Rock in August 1970, the tranquility was shattered by a harrowing event that would mark the lives of the Chamberlain family forever. The disappearance of 10-year-old Azaria Chamberlain under mysterious circumstances left the nation in shock. Lindy Chamberlain, Azaria's mother, stood by her claim that a dingo, a wild Australian dog, snatched her baby away, leading to an unthinkable tragedy. Despite the absence of Azaria's remains, the court convicted Lindy of murder, sentencing her to life imprisonment, while her husband, Michael, faced conviction as an accessory after the fact. The case quickly captivated the public and media, fueled by controversy and speculation, especially concerning the police's role in the narrative presented to the media. The Chamberlains, undeterred, pursued every possible legal avenue, fighting against the odds. Lindy's prospects seemed bleak until a pivotal discovery near a known dingo habitat, Azaria's jacket. This piece of evidence introduced significant doubt, challenging the murder conviction and ultimately leading to the exoneration of the Chamberlains. Although the mystery of Azaria's death persists, this turn of events highlighted the complexities of justice and the unpredictable nature of truth. 6. Mary Bell. In a case that sent shockwaves around the globe, the actions of 10-year-old Mary Bell defied the innocence typically associated with childhood. With the tragic loss of two young boys, aged 3 and 4, at her hands, the question arose, how could such young innocence morph into the embodiment of psychopathy? Mary Bell's chilling acts of strangulation, bolstered by overwhelming evidence and corroborated by testimony from her elder sister, and laid bare stark reality. The narrative took a more harrowing turn as Bell crafted letters of confession to the bereaved parents, an act that underscored the gravity of her deeds. In the courtroom, the complexity of Mary Bell's psyche was dissected, with court-appointed psychiatrists persuading the jury that her tender age and psychopathic tendencies absolved her of the full weight of intent behind the murders. Consequently, Bell was adjudicated for manslaughter instead of murder. This verdict reflected the nuances of juvenile culpability and the limitations of a justice system grappling with the appropriate punishment for a child whose actions belied her age. Her eventual release after 12 years, premised on good behavior, continues to fuel discussions on rehabilitation, justice, and the capacity for change, especially in young offenders. 5. Joyce Mitchell. Joyce Mitchell's story unfolds within the grim walls of Clinton Maximum Security Prison, not as an inmate, but as a seamstress committed to her job. However, her narrative took a dark turn when she crossed the line from law-abiding citizen to accomplice in one of the most audacious prison breaks in history. By providing Richard Matt and David Sweat, two convicted felons, with the tools to escape, Joyce set the stage for an intense manhunt that captivated the nation. The escape saga, filled with suspense and danger, lasted nearly 3 weeks, ending dramatically in a shootout that claimed Matt's life and saw Sweat wounded and recaptured. Despite her initial willingness to aid their escape further with a getaway car, Joyce's last-minute hesitation led to her arrest. Convicted of smuggling contraband and facilitating criminal activity, she faced justice, receiving an 8-year sentence, of which she served 5. This cautionary tale underscores the unforeseen consequences of crossing the line between duty and complicity. 4. Sister Ping. Ching Shui Ping, universally known as Sister Ping, wasn't just any entrepreneur. She was the architect behind one of the most lucrative yet perilous human smuggling networks of her time. In an era where the American dream beckoned countless from China with the promise of prosperity, Sister Ping saw an opportunity. Capitalizing on this desire, she orchestrated the passage of over 3,000 souls to the United States, a venture that, despite its dangers, netted her immense wealth. However, her empire was not without its cost. The journey she facilitated was fraught with risk, a gamble on human lives for financial gain. Her eventual capture, a result of international cooperation, led to a 35-year prison sentence. Sister Ping's story is a testament to the complex interplay of ambition, risk, and consequence, ending with her demise from pancreatic cancer behind bars. A once undocumented immigrant herself, her life story forces us to confront the shadowy facets of the pursuit of wealth and the American dream. 3. Ilka Coke. Infamously dubbed as the Beast, the Witch, and the Bitch of Buchenwald, Ilka Coke carved a name for herself in the annals of history through acts that epitomized the very essence of brutality. Married to Colonel Karl Koch, the SS commander of the Buchenwald concentration camp, her notoriety wasn't just tied to her matrimonial links but was deeply etched by her direct involvement in unspeakable horrors. Beyond the realm of ordinary malevolence, Koch orchestrated the creation of items such as lampshades, book covers, and gloves, a macabre collection crafted from the tattooed skin of prisoners, a testament to human cruelty. Yet, as the tides of war shifted, so did Koch's fate. Tried and convicted as a war criminal, she was handed a significant sentence for her heinous actions. In a twist of irony, the burgeoning Cold War saw her released by American forces, a decision driven by political maneuvering rather than justice. However, this taste of freedom was ephemeral. The very day of her release, West German authorities took swift action, ensuring Koch faced the consequences of her actions. Her life concluded in the shadows of a prison cell, ending by her own hand, an ignominious end to a chapter marked by indelible atrocities. 2. The San Antonio Four. In an era where unfounded fears and societal biases intertwined disastrously, the story of Elizabeth Ramirez, Cassandra Rivera, Christy Mayhew, and Ana Vasquez emerges as a stark testament to the devastating effects of the Satanic Panic. These four friends endured the nightmare of being wrongfully convicted in 1998 for a crime they didn't commit, a direct result of a mix of paranoia, fear, homophobia, and an obsession with the devil. Their only crime was being falsely accused by two young girls, aged 7 and 9, of sexual assault, a claim later recanted by one of the accusers, who admitted to lying out of distress over her aunt's sexual orientation. Despite spending 15 harrowing years in prison, their battle for justice didn't end with their release. It took another grueling 5 years of legal struggles for a judge to finally exonerate them, wiping their records clean of the convictions that had unjustly branded them. This ordeal highlights the catastrophic impact of societal hysteria and the urgent need for compassion and understanding in the face of baseless accusations. 1. Aileen Wuornos. Charlize Theron's Oscar-winning portrayal of Aileen Wuornos in Monster brought to life the complex story of one of the most infamous female serial killers in American history. Between 1989 and 1990, Wuornos fatally shot 6, possibly 7, men, leading to her arrest and the assignment of 6 death sentences. Executed by lethal injection in 2002, her years on death row were marked by her stark calls for execution, arguing it was futile to prolong her life. She believed her continued imprisonment was an unnecessary burden on taxpayers, stating her lack of remorse and readiness to commit further crimes if given the chance. This narrative not only underlines the gravity of her crimes, but also ignites a conversation about the intricacies of justice and the human condition itself. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more content. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. We appreciate your support. Bye.